All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're doing something a bit different. We're going to zero in on a single 11-word sentence. Now, as someone who's spent 30 years deep in the trenches of actuarial science and risk management, I can tell you right now that this short little sentence, it actually contains the ultimate blueprint for calculating risk, absorbing a brutal loss, and completely rewiring how we think about failing.
Just take a second and let these words sink in. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Now, sure, on the surface, that might sound like your standard motivational poster, but when you view it through the lens of hardcore risk management, it is a highly technical, incredibly resilient roadmap for iterating past a catastrophic loss. We're going to dissect exactly what it means, word by word, and uncover the actionable framework hiding right inside this text.
To really unpack this, we'll move through 4 distinct phases. 1, the illusion of finality. 2, recognizing the hidden opportunity. 3, the act of beginning again. And 4, the intelligent restart. Let's get into it.
Starting off with Section 1, the illusion of finality.
We began by isolating just the first 3 words of our source text. Failure is simply. Think about how you normally react when things go off the rails. It's usually panic, right? Or just total defeat. But in the actuarial world, a failure absolutely isn't the end of the world. It is simply an event where reality deviated from our projection. By framing it this way, those 3 words instantly strip away all that heavy, exhausting emotional baggage we normally attach to our mistakes.
Let's think about the actual definition of the word simply. It means in a straightforward manner, without complication, merely or just. The text is actively diffusing the devastation of failure. When a veteran risk manager looks at a blown model, they look at it simply. No complication, no drama. It reduces a massive psychological blow to merely a factual event. You see, it's not a deep character flaw. It's just objective data analysis.
This creates such a stark contrast between an amateur's totally emotional reaction to a loss versus a veteran's objective assessment. On one hand, you have failure loaded with heavy emotional baggage, the shame, the guilt, the feeling that it's all over. Contrast that with failure as simply a state of being. Adopting this objective view completely clears the mind. We stop making the setback about our self-worth, and that frees up our cognitive energy to figure out what comes next.
Which brings us to Section 2, recognizing the hidden opportunity.
By immediately following the word simply with the phrase the opportunity, the source completely flips a stopping point into an opening. In risk management, a failure basically reveals a variable you didn't account for previously. And that revelation? That is the hidden opportunity to build a tighter, much more accurate model. We're no longer staring backward at what went wrong, we are suddenly pushed to look around at what is now mathematically possible.
So if failure is simply an opportunity, why in the world do we so rarely treat it like one? The answer boils down to loss aversion. It's this well-documented psychological reality where the pain of losing feels about twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining. That emotional flinch completely blinds us to the opportunity. When a project collapses, our instinct is to run and hide. But this text challenges us to override that instinct, stay present in the moment, and actively hunt for the structural advantage that just revealed itself.
All right, Section 3, the act of beginning again.
Moving on to the phrase, to begin again. This implies absolutely crucial forward momentum. An opportunity is completely worthless if you don't actually take it. In actuarial terms, you literally cannot manage risk if you refuse to participate in the market. The text demands that we don't just sit there stewing in the failure or philosophizing about those newly discovered variables. No, we have to re-enter the arena. We have to rerun the simulation. Forward momentum is a mathematical necessity for long-term compounding success.
There's a hidden chronological logic happening here, reflecting exactly how actuaries handle time. Think of it as 3 phases. Phase 1 is the past, the failure itself, which is now just historical data. Phase 2 is the present, recognizing the opportunity or doing your current risk assessment. And Phase 3 is the future, beginning again, which represents forecasting and projecting. Beginning again is the mandatory bridge linking the historical data of where you were to the projections of where you are going.
Let's move to our final section, the intelligent restart.
Now for those last 5 words, this time more intelligently. I'm telling you, after 3 decades of analyzing risk, the true secret to professional longevity is captured right here. You aren't just starting over from scratch. The universe isn't wiping your memory clean. The source explicitly directs us to use the failure as a tool for intelligence. You're integrating the exact cost of that failure right into your new baseline. The setback wasn't a waste of time at all. It was absolutely vital data collection.
We really have to internalize the difference between these two approaches. Starting over blindly is what statisticians call gambler's ruin. It's rushing right back in, repeating the exact same errors out of emotion, and relying on the same flawed assumptions. But starting over intelligently? That means calculated iteration. You are hedging your bets based on new, hard historical data. You're adapting. Your next attempt is fortified by the exact reasons your last attempt fell apart.
Putting it all together, the text provides a really direct three-step strategic framework. Step 1, the failure, accepting the historical data without the emotional baggage. Step 2, the realization of opportunity, scanning the wreckage for unaccounted variables. And Step 3, the intelligent return, stepping back into the arena armed with those new calculations. This isn't just some generic quote. It's the ultimate battle-tested risk mitigation framework that seasoned pros use to survive highly volatile environments.
Looking at the complete quote one last time, failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. By breaking it down piece by piece, we can really appreciate that these 11 words are essentially the holy grail of risk management philosophy. They perfectly encapsulate decades of actuarial science into a single, profound sentence, offering us a totally logical roadmap to turn our absolute lowest moments into our greatest strategic advantages.
So, what will you begin again intelligently? I want you to think about a recent setback in your own life or work. Apply this framework. Override your loss aversion, grab the new data you've gathered from the mess, and make your calculated, intelligent return. I really hope this explainer encourages you to view your very next setback not as a final loss, but as invaluable actuarial data for your own life's model. Keep iterating and keep growing.